Hey everybody, it's me, Angel Benson. Welcome to another edition of Angel Sudsy Recap, where we delve into the world of daytime television and we do a few reality shows on the side. And one of the daytime television shows that we're doing is Young and the Restless. Now, technically, I could have done this recap yesterday, but yesterday I had like a little mini breakdown, not having anything to do with daytime television or even my job, because sometimes like my job is just so stressful that it's like but I don't know, maybe I was just physically tired, or I don't know, but I was just, I was just sobbing, crying, and I was like, no, I've got to do this recap. I've got to, come on, let's get it together. Come on, get in shape, girl. So I started, wiping my eyes down, and I was getting in front of the camera, and I realized that no matter how much I was trying to pull myself together, like my eyes were still like beady and bloodshot, and I'm going, and they still are kind of maybe a little. No, I think it's just because it's morning. But like it was bad before, and I was like, they're gonna think I'm stoned, like, and I had no booze, no pot, nothing. I was not anything. I was one stone cold sober. So I was like, oh, okay, let's do this tomorrow morning instead. So we're doing it now. So, okay, so let's talk about The Young and the Restless. So The Young and the Restless, sorry, there was just my mouth is like falling apart. Okay, so, ooh, excuse me. Okay, so Young and the Restless, this past week, here's what Young and the Restless and Bold and Beautiful, they're at the top of the pack. And they've been at the top of the pack for quite some time. Young and the Restless especially has been in the number one show forever, right? So it makes me wonder, what is it about Young and the Restless that makes it so much better than all the other shows? And if I'm going to be perfectly frank with you, not that much. I mean, the other shows all have, but the problem is that a lot of these other programs, including my very favorite one, Days of Our Lives, I know, but all of them, they all have varying times, because it's very cyclical. The industry is very cyclical. So there will be times when it's not that good, but then there are times that it's great. Now, including Young and the Restless. But Young and the Restless, though, has the times that it's not that good is very small. And then they'll have really big times of it being really good. And then it'll go a little bit small again. And then whereas opposed, there could be a huge swath of time for other shows that are just not that good. And then, unfortunately, that might turn people off of the industry, and that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. A lot of people don't understand just how difficult it is to produce a daytime television series every single day. Like, it's really hard. I was talking to Mal Young, the executive producer of Young and the Restless, and the head writer. We're talking about all kinds of things. We're talking about Doctor Who, because he used to work on Doctor Who, and we're talking about Billy Piper, because I love me some Billy Piper. And, Coronation Street and EastEnders, and like in UK, it's very, very different. There's soaps there at night, and they're some of the most highest rated programs in the UK. And I don't understand, Americans and England and Brits are not that different. So what is, I think a lot of it has to do with just our perception of the genre in general. So anyways, I'm totally just meandering, but it's one of those things that really kind of, but he's doing a great job. He's doing a fantastic job. Okay, so let's talk about what happened this past week. So this past week, not a lot of stories moved forward. There was a lot of like stagnation for various stories. The one story that did kind of drop a few bombshells and make us like was the story of Ashley and Dina and Graham. First of all, anything that has Dina in it, I love. I love it. And I think, for those of you that watch The Golden Girls, Marla Adams, who plays Dina Mergeron, she was I believe, and I could be mistaken, so I'm gonna need someone to fact check this. But I think that she was the one when Blanche was trying to join the Daughters of the Confederacy. She was the one who said, "I heard your uncle sold horseshoes to Claude Liverday," right? Something like that, right? I want to say that that was what she said, and she's got a very distinctive voice. So I don't know. I know she was on the Golden Girls, and I know she was on an episode, and I want to say that that was the one. That was the one that she was on, but well, whatever. I need to get that episode out and find out. So that storyline kind of gained a little traction this week as we found out that Graham's mother is alive, and he's taking care of her in the retirement home. But Graham, lied to Dina's face and said, "No, that's my aunt. I'm taking care of my aunt." And she's like, "Oh, okay, I feel bad for her, On the other hand, it's kind of strange because, like, she hates Nikki Newman, which I think is hilarious. I really do think that's very funny. And she thinks that Nikki's going to go to hell not go to hell, but like she's like really going to pay for screwing over Victor publicly. She just doesn't want her son to have to deal with those repercussions. Which, first of all, your son is like 50, okay? I mean, come on. I think he's old enough to decide if he wants to, tangle with Victor Newman. I'm just saying. I think that might be taking the overprotective mama act a little bit far. You can. But, what's funny is that a lot of the things that she is upset at Nikki at are things that she's guilty of herself. So, and we've already seen that she has difficulty sleeping at night because she keeps replaying, the scene where Ashley confronts her about her real father, Brent Davis. And it's obviously weighing on her mind a lot. So we see that it's not quite as one-sided as I'm just going to constantly be a bitch. No, it's not really. So, and that's what's great about the show is that it's presenting all of the people as people. No one is all good, no one is all bad, So, here's the thing. This show, this might be what keeps Young and the it might be one of the things that keeps Young and the Restless at the top of the heap all the time, is that there is no clear-cut villain of the show. Now, there might be an ancillary character or two that comes in that's a little bit shady, like Alice and Zach, right? But, I mean, as far as, like, main characters, there isn't an actual villain. Like, Days of Our Lives had Stefano DiMera, which, was one of my favorite characters of all time. And, General Hospital has had, at some point it's been Frank Smith, some point it's been Faison, and some, so they've always had some sort of villain as well, but Young and the Restless really hasn't. Like, that one guy that, Matt Clark, he was another one that was on for a little while. He was really bad, but then they got rid of him. So the people that they do have on the show, though, always have moral ambiguity, right? Like Victor Newman, like Phyllis. And FYI, Crazy Phyllis is coming out. It's coming. It is. She said it's mid-October. So we know that something crazy, she's going to do something fucking crazy. I cannot wait. I love me some Crazy Phyllis. And I can see it coming, too. And I see that Victoria just likes to fucking poke that bear. Oh, honey, one of those days, this bear's going to fucking swipe that face. She's going to be pissed. It's going to happen. I'm excited. I'm and that's another storyline that even though it's a little bit stagnant right now, I can see that that's coming. So I'm willing to stick with that. I'm like, okay, so those are like the two top stories right now. But then there are others that really didn't see a lot of forward motion, like Juliet and Kane. Now, with Juliet's case, as we look back on time, we see 9 months as nothing, right? But when you're living it, it's taking forever. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Juliet. I want to see Juliet on the show. I don't want her going anywhere. I think she's fantastic. But I want them to give her something else to do besides obsess over Kane, right? She can still obsess over Kane, but just give her something else to do as well, right? Even if it's not something that isn't expensive. Like, for example, because one of the things that I asked Mal Young was like, tell me about Farrah Dubose, who's played by Erica Jane. I was like, tell me about her. Who's her family? What does she do? I know that she's a real estate agent, but what are her dreams? What are her goals? Tell me about her. And, he could, I could bring on a whole family for Farrah Dubose, but the reality is that we just don't have that unlimited kind of money to pay people. You got to pay people. No one's going to act for free. So it's one of those things where it would be nice to see a family for Juliet, right? But I guess not. So anyways, yeah, it's one of those things where we'll have to see what's going on. But I'm definitely keeping an eye on the Ashley Dina storyline. I'm definitely keeping an eye on the Phyllis Billy, because I know that's coming up. It's coming. And then, yeah, the Kane Juliet Lily is, I'm kind of over that one, and Maddie and Reed, I'm over that too, The sex ring was good for a while, but I feel like it's starting to drag on just a little bit. And it's like, okay, you've been circling the airport for quite some time. Come bring this puppy in for a landing. You know what I mean? So, but I think that's coming too. So, anyways, I just feel bad because the whole thing is just, I need to talk about this real quick. Abby Newman is having issues with Zach because, according to him, he's very into his work all the time, and but my thing is, that's a little bit self-centered for her to be like, he needs to pay more attention to me. When the reality is he does not come from the same background as you. Miss, I have $500 million because I sued my father. And also, he's launching a brand new business that could be make it or break it for him. So, now granted, that's not exactly the reason why. That isn't the real reason why. The real reason why is because he's heading the sex ring. But even if it was just at face value, I felt like she was being a little bit unfair to Zach, right? Anyways, that was all I wanted to say. Thank you so much for logging on today. I do appreciate it. Please feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat at Angel Benton. You can also hashtag YR to talk Young and Restless, or you can hashtag GH to talk General Hospital. You can also hit that subscribe button on my YouTube channel to get my YouTube videos sent to your email inbox every single day. Have a wonderful day. Peace out. Wubba, wubba, wubba.